Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host, Tony Cañas. And today I have with me Peter Velardi, CEO of ReferMe IQ. Peter, thank you for joining me today. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great, Tony, and it's a pleasure to be here with you, especially both being based here in Atlanta.
I was going to say, so Peter and I get on the call, and I'm looking at his LinkedIn and realize I realized that he's also in Atlanta, and he, as we talked for a little bit, he realizes we are blocks away, both in the Midtown area of Atlanta. So it's just kind of funny, and we are both survivors of the recent snowstorm.
Massive 1-inch snowstorm, yes.
Exactly. We are recording on January 24th, and Saturday, a week ago, I think some areas of Atlanta got 2 inches, but it definitely melted by like a few hours afterwards. But yeah, those are a big deal here in Atlanta. So Peter, thank you for joining me. We always give the chance for the guests to give kind of the elevator pitch. What is ReferMe IQ?
Yeah, happy to be here and happy to answer that. Yes, so ReferMe IQ, simply put, is an automated referral platform that provides a system that provides all the behaviors a professional needs in order to build that high growth referral-based business. So, the quick background on that is, why does that matter? Well, who doesn't, Tony, want to build that high growth referral-based business? We all know that from a producer and insurance agency's perspective, of all the ways to market, referrals is the best way. It's the top way the consumers want to learn about an insurance agency or agent or provider or manufacturer. By far, it's the top choice. We know that from a producer's perspective, it is the highest conversion lead source of any, times 400%. And we know today the marketing world has changed a ton, right? So all the stranger type of marketing that costs a lot and is very high friction, there's more distrust associated with that than ever, whereas the trust in a referral has actually gone up. Consumers, in fact, would want to have somebody refer them to the tune of 91% would refer people if asked. So the reason this matters is if somebody wants leverage in building their agency, their system, they want to get greater referrals. So then you might ask, well, what's the challenge? Everybody knows that, right? That's kind of Captain Obvious stuff. So then it just becomes, what's the challenge? And the challenge is it's hard. And the challenge is it's highly behavioral. And most people are not great at it because there's 5 behaviors that have to happen. You've got to somehow find a way to have the skill and the courage to be asking people for referrals in the ways they prefer to be asked. And if you can do that, then you've got to somehow give them reasons to refer. The top reason why consumers want to refer is not what you might think. It's because they want to make a difference in other people's lives. So we have to appeal to that. We have to appeal to people's human nature to really make a difference in this world. And when we refer people to somebody that provides something valuable, you feel good. So we got to find a way to be skillful enough to do that. Third, we've got to make a proper introduction, and most people do not know how to get another human to transfer that trust to another human, and it can be inconvenient for people to refer people. If you do those 3 things right, you're well on your way to both produce and convert a referral, but then you also have to make sure the referral's interested prior to making the call, because more often than not, referral still involves a high degree of rejection. And then the last thing is, if you can do all those things right and then create a new game where actually, is there a way to create a system that produces contact requests where referrals are chasing agents and agencies, that's when you know things have come together. So the way ReferMe IQ basically spawned was out of my background of being an agent, being a leader, being a financial advisor. I started out through the hard knock school of 1,000 cold calls a week. Not a great way to build a business, but it worked for me initially. I got turned on by leadership and referrals, built lots of referral-based businesses in the past, trained thousands of advisors. I was 25 years in Ameriprise Financial, led massive distribution channels of 5,000 plus insurance agents, and I was very dissatisfied with the technology available to people to make this easier, because it's hard. So long story short, I was involved in lots of M&A consulting and startups and boards and distribution arrangements, and decided to start my own company because there was a huge gap in the marketplace. Nobody really created easy to use technology that automates behaviors that an agent or agency can take right off the shelf, put in place, and become more referable, produce more referrals, and then convert them to ideal clients. So we've been doing it for a while. We get great feedback from our users. We tweak it, and we're all about not just software that works, but software that works combined with great education to teach people about the landscape and why they should automate referrals, as well as helping people actually set up and use the software, because if they don't do that, then nothing works. So that's kind of the quick kind of view of what we are and what we do, and how we work with people.
Okay. And Ameriprise is largely a life insurance company, right? If I'm correct.
Well, they've always been a financial planning organization, which has
Okay.
always been my passion. And life insurance for me, and all types of insurance to me, the way I'm wired, falls into the context of a holistic financial plan. But that's only one way to do it. That's just the way that I was kind of born and raised as a CFP in the business and a leader of financial advisors. I have all sorts of respect for lots of different types of producers, and I've been in the space for a very long time, and we work with people who are product focused all the way through distribution focused, and it's a tough business. But I got to tell you, in this era of the certainty of uncertainty, Tony, insurance agents and professionals are needed today more than ever. And so I have a lot of respect for that, and I want them, and our passion is helping them build these high growth referral based business, because we want them not just to survive, we want them to thrive, and we want them to have a great life, not just a great business. And if you get great at referrals and have a good system, you can have a great life and business, because it is the leverage point beyond belief.
Okay. So everything you said makes a lot of sense. One thing I found really interesting is the reason that people make referrals. So it's not the $5 Starbucks gift card, basically.
You know, that those can be what I call the lubricants of life. So those can be helpful, and we have incentives built into our software, for example, where people can say, if you refer somebody to either, because folks, the two use cases for our platform, Tony, one is to recruit people to your organization, which I know you're involved in a bit, and the other is for acquiring new clients. And so both of those use cases, there are incentives built in. So somebody could put in all of their email and text messaging. If you refer somebody, they convert to a new recruit or a new client, you get, for example, a $100 Amazon gift card. The problem is all of that stuff is way overused in the industry. Somebody's not going to refer. I'm not going to refer you to somebody for what you do because I get a $100 gift card. It's not going to make a difference in my life. I'm going to refer you because I'm going to feel really good that if I refer somebody to you and you provide this great value to them, they're going to thank me and say, man, because we all want to have like the man or woman in our life for everything, right? To fix your plumbing, to put a roof on your house, to find you a spot in a restaurant. And when you find those people that can solve legitimate human problems, that's invaluable. That's priceless, as the MasterCard commercial says. And so that's why we do it. We do it. It's a hassle. I refer people all the time, right? But I've got to get 2 email addresses. I got to say, Tony, meet Phil. Phil, meet Tony. Tony's a great guy. Phil's a great guy. Phil does this. Tony does that. I'll leave it up to you guys. And that takes me 15 minutes just with one, right? With our system, you could refer 10 people in less than 2 minutes and create the path for you, once you refer me to somebody, to have an email or text go to your referral, properly introducing me so that the trust has been transferred. And then he'll get a quiz, or she'll get a quiz from you saying, take this quiz, take Velardi's quiz. If you don't do well on it, it means you might need him. And so the process is built so that all the things that we wish humans would do to be great at referrals is built into a piece of software to do 85% of the lifting for them. So that's why it's so helpful.
Okay. I thought it was very interesting that the whole the person being able to make the proper introduction makes a difference, and how the system also does that. So from the perspective of an insurance agent, okay, so I quote your insurance, and you do move your insurance to me. Okay, so the proper behavior, I'm guessing, would be, I don't know, a week later or right away afterwards, asking you if your experience with us what was good, would you refer us to a few of your friends? But of course, that's an awkward ask. So how does the system automate the ask?
Yeah, and you couldn't be more right. More often than not, referrals, the referral scripting or language, deteriorates into this highly awkward exchange, right? That nobody likes, right? The agent feels it, the client feels it, and it's so painful and so awkward that everybody avoids it. And yet people would refer. So you hit on the issue exactly. So the issue is, how does our system solve that, right? Or how does any good automated system solve that? Well, the ask has to come through value. So, when you said, all right, a week after, in essence, the sale is made, somebody might ask the education piece of when to ask referrals. All the great trainers who train on referrals say the same thing. It's, when do you ask referrals? Well, you ask referrals when value is provided and recognized. So the standard scripting for that is, Tony, how did you like today? What did you get out of today when we met? You might say, well, you helped me establish, that I'm paying too much for my insurance and I don't have the right types. Great. What was most helpful to you, Tony? Well, it was this and that. Excellent. And how, by solving that, how did that impact your life today? So I know I'm doing my job. And you tell me that. And then I might say something like, well, I'm sure there's other people that that you love and care about, that you would also like to experience the same thing. Am I right? And you'll say, yeah, of course. And it's like, well, I can't take all of them. I can't be speaking to all of them. I don't have the time. But can we brainstorm together maybe the top 5 people that you want to make some introductions to see if I can help them, knowing everything we do is completely personal and confidential. That scripting that I just did, I've done some version of that for 45 years.
Yeah, you clearly have that down.
Right. And in some version, I've trained thousands of agents and advisors. The problem is I leave and you go back to your office and you're writing that down, you're scripting it out, but then the moment of truth comes and it's very hard to do. So the way we solve that is we say, let's bypass all that awkwardness. Instead, all you have to do with our system is upload all your layers of relationships. People you care about, that care about you, your clients, your network, maybe warm marketing leads that you've been dripping on for a long time but haven't converted. They know you, you know them. And let's add value every single week or month. So we have all these templated campaigns set up, text and through email, which email incidentally is the #1 way consumers want to learn about an insurance agent. So instead of just awkwardly asking, let's nurture relationships. Let's stay in touch with people. Let's put links to value-added content in there, but let's create an easy link that says, when you're ready to introduce someone to me, and here's why you may want to do that, click on this link. They click on the link. All they have to do is put first name, last name, and email address. When they click that button, let's say you're my client and you're the one that bought insurance from me, an email, and you refer me to Phil. An email is going to go instantly, taking the burden off of you, from you to Phil, introducing me. I want you to meet this guy, Velardi. He's worked in the industry forever. He really helped me make some sense of this confusing area of all my P&C insurance. Here's a link to his website, and here's a quiz of his that you can take to see if you even want to talk to him. Phil gets on and says, wow, Tony's a good guy. He's got great hair. So I'm thinking I should probably trust him. So then Phil takes my quiz and asks questions like, do you know the exact amount of insurance you need in all the categories so you're not overpaying for your insurance? No. Do you feel at times you're paying for more than you need or should have for insurance? Yes. So all these questions come up, most of which he doesn't have the answers to, but because of the way this quizzes are structured, then he looks at a score on a grid and it shows 1 out of 6. So now 2 things have happened that we want. We're trying to get humans to do. Number 1 is that you've made a proper introduction to your friend Phil. So Phil thinks I'm legitimate, and there's a website link so we can find out. And second, we've disrupted Phil a little bit. Phil's rocked a little bit. He's kind of like, man, maybe I could use the help of this insurance agent because I answered wrong on all these questions. And then Phil's name is already in the form. Everything's in there for Phil, his email. All he has to do is tell me how he wants to be contacted. So please contact me via text or via email. And he does that and he pushes the button and Phil feels really good. While that's going on, instantly, you're being sent a thank you note from me, thanking you for the referral, and et cetera. And at the same time, reminding you of the incentive that if Phil does convert to a client, you get this Amazon gift card or whatever the incentive is. Phil feels great because he's taken a step to manage the certainty of uncertainty. And he shows up on my calendar and everybody wins. And the difference is there's so many marketing programs out there, Tony, that produce leads that then agents have to chase. And the best that agents do with technology, with referrals, the best I've seen is simple like news programs where they send a news letter out and there's a little link says refer a friend. And so somebody clicks on that and they put the name of their friend in there. The problem is now I get that lead. This person doesn't know me. The trust hasn't been transferred. There's been no disruption. At best, now I call up Phil and Phil says, Tony, I didn't talk to Tony about this. Who are you? And I feel rejection. And therefore I'm thinking, gosh, Velardi's talking about how great these referrals are, but this is really hard. So you don't get the conversion. Our system creates all those behaviors that I just know from 40 years of doing this should happen, could happen, but don't happen. Not anybody's fault. It's just hard. It's human nature. That's what the system does.
How does it integrate? So most PNC agencies out there are probably on Epic or what's the other Vertifor.
Yep.
So
Sure.
how does it integrate with my existing agency management system?
Yeah, it's an important question. So everything we do will integrate with whatever IT stack somebody has. Some have that, some have CRMs, all sorts of CRMs from Salesforce on down. So we want 2 things to happen. We want, number 1, we want the emails to go out and the text to go out. We want them to get open and we want people to click on content. So we built the system so that no matter what happens, all that gets through and we can integrate, for example, and authenticate somebody's email address. So all the emails come from their email, not ours. Some people, their reputation of their email servers aren't great, so they use ours and that's fine too. We'll do that for them. But second, there needs to be integration with keystrokes with CRMs. So off the shelf, it's easily done just through an import and export button built into our software. So sometimes somebody just wants to click a button and deduplicate on both ends. That's all they want. Other people want to integrate keystrokes. So an agent or an agency just needs to put the data in once, either in one source or the other, and it fully integrates, and we can do that as well. And the third thing we do is custom enterprise integrations. We have a client, for example, that owns a giant transportation distribution company, and they've got a tech deliverable to their tech operators worldwide. And what they use us for is they want the referral program to kick in when somebody gets a 5-star review. That's the trigger that they want for our system to kick in. So we have some integration custom with them to make all that happen. So it really depends. Some firms want to keep this really simple and just use this right off the shelf. Others want us to build some things out specifically for them. It just depends on the use case. We spend a lot of time getting to know the leaders of an organization, an agency. We don't want this to be a burden on them. We want to do the heavy lifting and really be an extension of their leadership team to find out their needs and then integrate it with whatever those needs are.
Okay. What kind of results do you normally see? What does the ROI usually look like according to your existing clients?
Yeah, you had my pet peeve of all these programs out there. Most organizations, if you ask them to track referrals, referral conversion, and ROI and investments against referrals, have no idea the answers. And I'm talking about Fortune 5 companies that we've worked with, that part of why they were attracted to us is that we can track all of that stuff. So we built into this, and we keep evolving it, and I'll share that in a second because there's really fun news coming up on that. But we have tons of tracking. We track results and behavior. So we track not only all the email metrics of open rates, click-through rates, et cetera. We track all the behavior. So people for the first time can see which clients are actually clicking on forms, opening forms, doing all of that. But we also track when a referral converts to a client. They push a button that says convert to a client, and they then go to the client list for the client campaigns. So we track conversion up and down the system. What we haven't been able to do, because it requires cooperation, is the next version to come out in Q1 or early Q2 is we're going to provide, and we've got an enterprise dashboard for an agency or for a large organization that rolls up all that data, results, ROI, everything, by agent, by division, by region. We show engagement of people. We show how many conversion to clients, how many referrals have they gotten, how many contact requests have they gotten. We track all of that. But what we're going to track very, very soon is conversion of all of that to revenue, and then the ROI conversion of that. So there's two pieces to that. One is we'll have a place, so when somebody converts a referral to a client, Tony, they'll be able to put in the revenue produced by that for them. And then the reporting will reflect revenue per referral, per client, et cetera. And then they'll be able to easily track the ROI of their investment. You know, we're talking about a program. And we tell people, what do you think something like this would cost to do all this? You know, we hear like, you know, $5,000 a year, $10,000 a year per license. It may surprise you that, you know, we're talking about for the, you know, the lowest program, the first entry program is about $1,200 a year. The highest end, where we do everything for you, there's two ways to play. You can do it yourself, or we can do it all for you. Even though we do it for you program is roughly $3,000 a year. So for most insurance pros, that's one sale over the course of a year or two from our system. So we track all that, and we go out of our way to make sure that not only is it measurable, but that people are seeing the return. Somebody's results are based upon three things. So we don't control the world. We only provide the software to do it. But there's three things that have to happen for somebody to even qualify to use our system. We turn away people if they don't have these. One is you've got to have the capacity to handle new business. So some people just don't have their business built out to be able to handle a lot of new business. They just take care of this existing clients. Two is they've got to be reasonably referable. If you're not referable, there's no software that's going to get somebody to introduce you to another person. They're just not going to trust it. So, and occasionally we have people that do everything right with their system, but they don't get results. And then we kind of learn that's the problem. We can incidentally help a business with that. I've helped a lot of businesses become referable. There's work involved, but I can help somebody get there pretty quick. But they've got to be referable. And third, they've got to have enough critical mass of relationships. So this would not be good for a brand new insurance agent that doesn't have a good natural market or anything. They're starting off absolutely cold, fresh, don't have relationships, maybe a couple of their parents' friends, probably not going to work. You know, you need to have a critical mass of at least 500 people in your client base and network. Most people do, just in their LinkedIn alone, they often do. But if you are referable, and if you can handle some new business and process it properly, and third, if you've got enough critical mass of contacts, you will get quality referrals, but you'll also get new business with existing clients, because we're going to be dripping on people, adding more value to people over time, and creating ways to catch them at those points of activation throughout the year. New car, new home, new child, new business. that requires the help of an insurance professional, we're going to catch them at those times. And they're going to say, hey, I've got referrals for you, but actually, can you talk to me sometime next week? Because I have a need, and they'll raise their hand that way. That's what we're trying to produce. We're trying to produce a bunch of humans raising their hand saying, I want to meet with you, Tony. Here's when to call me. Here's how to contact me. When can we do it? And it just happens. So that's kind of how I see that.
Fantastic. I love that that you come from this world. We've had a lot of tools get developed over the last, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7 years, which were a tech toy looking for an insurance, a tech hammer looking for an insurance nail. So you're 25 years at Ameriprise. Clearly, you get what this industry does and how hard it is to sell it. And my listeners are probably mostly PNC agents. Their job is not quite as hard as the life agents. That's a true sales job, right? It in our world in PNC, people have to buy insurance from somewhere. We get them to buy it from us, but in life they don't have to buy it, right? The majority of the time. So that's a true sales job. So fantastic. No, it makes a lot of sense. And it looks from your LinkedIn that you guys have been around for a good 5 years. That's good that we're not integrating a new piece of software that we're in a company that's going to disappear next year. So yeah, no, it very, very exciting stuff. When the podcast goes live, I'll tag you on LinkedIn and I'll tag the ReferMe IQ website. It makes sense to me. I can definitely see how it would how it would pay for itself, because the referrals are hard to ask for, and it's well documented that they do work.
Yeah, well, you're right on all, and it's been great to be with you today. I'd say a couple things to close. One is that we're all about education. So when you go to our website, there's a couple things I would point out for people to go to. One is, if you go up to the top nav, there's a tools. It says tools up there. If you scroll down a little bit, there's a quiz in there, a referral quiz. It's about a 2-minute quiz. It's a great place to start with us because it's an assessment tool for you. And so what somebody does is they go on there and there's a set of questions they can ask and answer that will help them get a score. And your score will tell you how referable you are, how predictable your current system will be in producing referrals and converting those referrals. That's a great assessment tool for people like, I don't know if I need this. I don't know how am I even doing? Am I really referable or not? That will give you a good, at least a baseline to start with. And then from there, should you want to consult with us educationally, then the next thing you would do is on the top nav, you'll see demo up there. Book a free one. These can be 15 minutes, a half an hour, whatever you want, but it's a strategy session with one of our top people for us to learn a little bit about you and your business, what you're doing in the referral space, what you're doing for marketing, go over your quiz results, and we can give you some advice on, here's some quick wins you can take, whether you use us or not, of what you can do to improve how referable you are and your system. So that's another place to go to. And then if you go right of that in the top nav, there's also a resource center. And I mean, there is stuff of me doing podcasts, blogs, webinars. There's gazillion, there's white papers. One of them I think the best is one called Getting and Converting Referral in Today's Virtual World. I go over things in there like how to even ask for referrals on a Zoom meeting, which nobody does, right? So lots of educational things. We want you to be well informed. Our mission in life is to help millions of you to build that high growth referral-based business. We know a lot about it. We've built software to help you, but our value prop to your point, is not just a piece of software. It's all of our years of collective experience that we can bring to bear, being in your shoes, to help you be successful. So anything we can do to help the people who are your listeners, we are delighted to do.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time.
You bet. Happy to be here. Thanks, everybody.